In this session, we'll focus on subordinate clauses. That's an essential component for expressing complex ideas in English. Mastering subordinate clauses will definitely help you communicate more precisely and effectively, whether in writing, speech, business English, everyday English. Before we begin, I'd like to tell you why subordinate clauses particularly are very useful. First of all, they add a lot of depth and detail. They enable you to provide additional information without starting a new sentence. This makes your writing or speaking more cohesive and less choppy. Second of all, they express relationships between ideas. They help you show how different pieces of information relate to each other, such as cause and effect, contrast, or conditions. Third of all, they vary sentence structure. Using subordinate clauses allows for more varied and sophisticated sentence structures, which is a key characteristic of advanced English. So, enough of that. Let's get to it. What are really subordinate clauses? A subordinate clause or dependent clause contains a subject and a verb, but does not really express a complete thought on its own. So, it cannot stand alone as a sentence and depends on a main clause, independent clause, to complete its meaning. As you can see here in the example, given that she was late, she missed the bus. The phrase, given that she was late, is the subordinate clause. It provides a reason for missing the bus, but it cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. Before we get to different types of subordinate clauses, I'd like to tell you that I decided to present subordinate clauses in such a way that you focus on the conjunctions, or as I like to call them too, connectors, and the phrases. The sentences I created are rather simple. The aim is to show you how to make an easy sentence sound more complex. Also, since this is the very beginning of our course, I wouldn't really want to overwhelm you too quickly, so good luck, and I hope you have fun. There are a few types of subordinate clauses. I decided to show you 7 and some other without a specific category. So you will see some examples, but first of all, I just wanted to tell you that there are subordinate clauses which present aspects and the concept of time, reason, purpose, result, condition, contrast, or concession. So let me show you a few examples. First of all, time clauses provide information about when something happens. Very common connectors are when, as, while, once, whenever, and so on. As you can see here, a couple of examples. Before you leave, make sure to lock the door. As you can see, we wouldn't be able to say just before you leave without any other context. This part of the sentence cannot stand alone. Call me the moment you arrive. Or by the time we got there, the show had already started. Reason clauses explain the reason or cause behind the action in the main clause. And the most common conjunction for reason clauses is simply because, but you can also use something more advanced like since, as, for, given that, etc. For instance, since it was raining, we decided to stay indoors. Or he left early for he had an important meeting. This is really formal English, especially written English. Or, as it was getting late, we decided to leave. Purpose clauses explain the intention or aim behind the action in the main clause. You can use phrases such as, so that, in order that, for fear that, in order to, so as to, etc. For example, they worked extra hours in order that they finish the project on time. Or they whispered for fear that they might wake the baby. Result clauses, as the name suggests, show the outcome or consequence of the action in the main clause. And the most common conjunction for result clauses is so. Like I said, the name suggests providing the reason for something. There are a few common structures where you can use words such as so, such, or to. For example, she was so tired that she fell asleep immediately. It was such a difficult exam that many students failed. Or the soup is too hot for me to eat. Condition clauses express conditions under which the action in the main clause will happen, and the most common conjunctions for condition clauses are if and unless. So really, you might think these are just conditional sentences, and if you thought so, you are completely right, because this is what it is. These are conditionals. Conditionals also consist of two clauses, and one depends on the other. So if you don't really remember exactly the rules of conditionals, don't worry, because we will definitely get back to them throughout this course. So stay tuned. And here are a couple of examples. For instance, you can stay out as long as you're back by midnight. Take an umbrella in case it rains. And if I were to make you pay attention to a specific conjunction, it's going to be unless, because it's a bit tricky. Unless means if not. So please be careful, because unless refers to a situation where the opposite is going to happen. Like in the first sentence, we won't start the meeting unless everyone is here. If I were to translate the word unless into Polish, I would say it could be something as no chyba, że coś się stanie, to wtedy zrobimy to i tamto. There is no specific translation of unless into Polish. Such a word doesn't really exist. So if you ask me to translate it, I would explain it to you in such a way. Okay, let's move on to contrast clauses. Contrast clauses highlight differences between two ideas or actions. You can use the word but since we're advanced English speakers, we will use words such as whereas, whilst, while. Sweet coffee is delicious, but black coffee is healthier. Simple, right? You can also use whereas. He loves spicy food, whereas she prefers milder dishes. Really, really worth using. Instead of but, for example. Concession clauses introduce some contrasting idea that is surprising or unexpected given the main clause. Here, you should know phrases such as even though, yet, much as, however much, etc. So, although it was cold, they went for a walk. Let's treat it as this surprising element in the sentence. Much as I'd like to help, I'm too busy right now. Or at the end you can see, however exhausting it might be, they continued the hike. Or however much it cost, they decided to buy it. Like I said at the beginning, there are also other types of subordinate clauses which don't really belong to any category, and I decided to show you 3 of them. So, he acts as if he owns the place. As if. She looks as though she's seen a ghost. Or, I always wear high heels except if I'm out for a jog. So, I hope you see the point in subordinate clauses based on these multiple examples. I just wanted to say in conclusion that understanding and using subordinate clauses effectively allows you to create more sophisticated and nuanced sentences. And by mastering different types of clauses like these, you will surely be able to express more complex ideas, reasons, purposes, and contrasts clearly, efficiently, and just perfectly, adequately for an advanced English speaker.